gotta watch that 5-round MMA,
Welcome, everyone. This is 5-Round MMA. My name is Alex Demers, alongside my in-studio co-host, Albert Zeta. And we sent a message out, message in a bottle to Mr. Guillermo Zeta here.
Yeah.
Waiting on his...
full schedule. I guess it's soccer season for the kids.
Or is it Monday Night Football?
Or is it Monday Night Raw?
Or Monday Night Football?
Or is it Monday Night Raw and Monday Night Football?
Last I checked, he's not a Raiders fan, right?
No, but he could be a Rams fan.
Claiming them Raiders here. Well, we got a full show ahead of you guys. UFC 228 recap. People are saying it was a great card, but, I mean, on paper, we're going to buy it. Because on paper, but it delivered. But
no, on paper, I was not gonna buy that.
Yeah, right. The UFC 228 recap. The vacating of the women's flyweight title. Talk about that. Talk about some All In. We're a couple weeks removed from that, but the implications are still being felt in the professional wrestling world. And we're also going to preview Hell in a Cell and the Triple G versus Canelo. Okay, as well.
I like it.
I
just saw the HBO 24/7.
Yeah, a little bit early.
It's fresh on my mind.
So let's get started. Round number one. UFC 220 took place this past Saturday. Co-main event, which is probably what we're talking about here, is Tyron Woodley. Was he knocks out Darren Till, right?
No, it's Darce choke.
Darce choke. Fairly early in the fight. People are saying now that, oh yeah, everybody's like, Tyron was born, guys. He was always, but...
In my response, oh, yeah, he is.
In my response is he did exactly what he was supposed to do to a guy who was not anywhere near his level of fighting ability. Darren Till, Dana White has a crush on him. And he needs that next big English star because Michael Bisping is on his way out. He's retired already. So they kind of forced the spotlight onto Darren Till. Hopefully a miracle could happen. And Tyron Woodley did exactly what he was supposed to do and finish this young guy who was not even ready to be in the same spotlight as him. Congratulations to Tyron Woodley, but does he prove anything better? I don't think so. He still has two kind of close fights to Stephen Wardbar Thompson, and was very boring and nullified against Damon Maya. To me, it shows that Tyron Woodley can hang with the best. Is he separate himself from the best? No, but can he destroy guys who don't belong in his class? Yes, he can. That's exactly what he did to Darren Till, and I'm still waiting for Tyron Woodley to show me that aggressiveness, to show me what's next. Clear out the division. Come on now. Albert, what do you think?
I just have a few comments. One, everyone needs to just hit the brakes because Tyron Woodley's last stoppage was 2 years ago against Robbie Lawler.
Yeah.
And here's the frustrating part: Tyron Woodley and Tyron Woodley fans talk about Woodley as if he's already a legend, like some kind of epic
Anderson Silva-ish.
But I keep reminding people, look, the difference between like Tyron Woodley and GSP, who is a welterweight champion, and to me, he's still the current welterweight champion.
Yeah.
GSP would dominate his opponents. Tyron Woodley did this against a young Darren Till, but he struggled his last 3-4 bouts to even get, I think, a unanimous decision. To tell you the truth, and GSP, we saw a lot of times of him clearly was the dominant fighter. Clearly, he outclassed 90% of that welterweight division, and I don't see Tyron Woodley doing that. And to tell you the truth, that's what, when it comes down to like, I always think there's good fighters, there's great fighters, and then there's this epic legendary status that I think GSP, Anderson Silva, John Bone Jones is on. And I think Tyron Woodley thinks he's on there, but he's far from it, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
And at 36 years old, I don't think he's ever going to reach that legendary status. But with that said, I think the matchup has to be Colby Covington versus Tyron Woodley. And even then, he has to legit finish Colby Covington the same way he did with Darren Till for me to even be like, yeah, you know what? He has potential to be in that legendary thing. Is he a great fighter? Obviously, he wouldn't be the welterweight champion. But I'm talking about legendary fighter. I don't think Tyron Woodley is even close to
and we're also this season, Tyron Woodley. We're also going. I'm still on the Darren Till thing too. Like, this guy was not ready. The UFC desperately wants that English star. There's that meme going around of Dana White about to hand the belt to Tyron Woodley. Just the sourest face you can have at his boy getting choked out.
In a way, and it's kind of unfair to Darren Till, the kid, because he's a kid, 26 years old, right? He pretty much had 2 high-profile fights, which was Cowboy Cerrone and Wonderboy Thompson.
Yeah.
And I feel...
Even the Wonderboy fight was kind of close, right?
Yeah, the Wonderboy fight was still kind of close.
It was in Till's home country.
Exactly.
He maybe got the favorite nod. So if anything, he's 1-1 his past 2 fights, right? If anything.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say. I think he got put in a position that it was too early, way too soon.
Yeah.
I feel like if he would have had 2 more high-profile fights, then he would have been ready, and I think he would have had a better performance. And I know he hates when people talks about his weight. I mean, I saw all the interviews, and I know that guy, he's probably going to punch me in the face if he ever sees me if I even mention his weight. But come on now. This guy looks very drained at 170, and I don't think 170 is his weight class, to tell you the truth. Even though Tyron Woodley also does a big weight cut.
Yeah.
But just, I'm just trying to lay out the facts, sir.
Yeah.
That it was way too soon for Darren Till to take this matchup.
Yeah, but respect to Tyron Woodley, he won. But this whole talk of him being not boring, he did what he was supposed to do. He finished a fighter who was in over his head. He did the professional thing what he was supposed to do. If it went to decision, they got question Tyron Woodley. Okay, it's not a question of Darren Till being that good. It's just Tyron Woodley being that bad. But we'll see now. Colby Covington is now. Anybody who listens isn't his. If you got Twitter and you're an MMA fighter, man, you better watch that because Colby Covington
is coming
after you. He's already tore apart Wonderboy Thompson. He's tearing apart Tyron Woodley already. So it should be fun, if anything, for the promo wise. And then again, hopefully Tyron Woodley knocks him out, and then that'll be it. Colby Covington. That's it for round number 1. We're gonna come back and talk about the co-main event that was canceled at UFC 222, and the UFC did the right thing in taking away the title from the women's flyweight champion. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Time for round number 2. So it's kind of the state of things for the UFC is when they start saying that pay-per-views over-deliver, right? Right. That's the theme on tour. Oh, this card. Who said this card is gonna be bad? Huh?
No lie. I think there's been 3 pay-per-view cards where I was like, dude, that was probably the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I legit was, you know what? I would have paid $5 more,
but
$10
like,
more.
that's the case. Like, this pay-per-view over-delivered. No, I'm paying $60 for it. I want to get $60 worth of entertainment.
Yeah. And I don't even think you got $60 worth of entertainment in this last pay-per-view. Come on now.
So, this was UFC 220 was supposed to have 2 title fights on the welterweight bout, which you're talking about, and also the women's flyweight title. Nicco Montano was supposed to take on Valentina Shevchenko, but Friday afternoon reports that Nicco was having trouble cutting weight. She was rushed to the hospital, and the UFC doctors cut off the title fight. So you know what, you're not gonna no more cutting weight, no more title fights. The fight is over and done. And then later on, I think was it Saturday or even Friday night, early Saturday morning, it came out that she was been stripped of her flyweight title, and now the UFC is going to have a bout between Valentina and somebody else to be determined later this year to crown a new women's flyweight title. Now this isn't the first time Nicco. Valentina said that I'd be surprised if Nicco actually makes his fight. I won't believe it until she were actually face to face in the octagon. That's what Valentina said repeatedly during media days, and it actually happened.
Yeah.
To Nicco's, people are criticizing her, but she hasn't defended the title once. She's won in December. She said she had her tonsils removed plus turf toe, which is why she's been rejecting all these offers to fight the title sooner. I guess the UFC wanted her to fight sometime in the spring, maybe summertime. But now she said she was forced to take this fight. She wasn't ready for the weight cut, and this is exactly what happened. She also said she has a documentary coming out that will prove it's all right. Do you think the UFC was right in taking away her title?
It's tough. I think Nicco deserves all the credit in the world, and you should give her the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
But at the same time, as a fan, and even as if I worked for the UFC, I don't like seeing my championship belts not be defended. I don't like seeing Brock Lesnar not defend that title, nor do I not like any of the UFC fighters to not be able to defend their title. I'm actually one of the very few people that don't mind having interim titles.
Yeah.
I'm actually perfectly fine with the interim titles, to tell you the truth.
You're also a hardcore championship fan, weren't you, too, back in the day?
So, with that said, I can see why they would strip her. I still think it was unfair.
Yeah.
They should have gave her another chance. And honestly, again, I know I'm one of the very few. I would just went straight to interim. Straight to interim. With that said, they actually have some interesting women categorized in the women's flyweight division.
125?
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but Jessica I's under there.
Yeah.
Liz Camouche, Alexis Davis. So
Everybody who Ronda Rousey beat.
yeah. So there is
Minus this guy.
there is interesting names in the women's flyweight, which I think could have carried this division until Nicco was 100% ready to defend the belt.
Well, you also got-
and that's my
yeah.
that's my only counter argument to it. It's like, well, I think there was other fights to be made.
Yeah.
If she wasn't 100% ready, and I'm a fan of interim. You should have
Yeah.
done an interim, and then when Nico's ready, you put both titles together.
Which would really suck for the women that have been fighting at 125 since it started is that there's rumor that Joanna Jędrzejczyk is interested in going to 125 and fight Valentina, which could be
Ooh.
literally the highest skilled women's fight in
And let's not forget,
MMA history.
Paige Van Zandt is
Paige
also
Van
in
Sant,
this category.
Rachel Ostovich is on there as well too. So I mean, there's some pretty big names on there.
Exactly. See, I honestly think they
Yeah.
could have carried it without Nicco. So
Yeah.
I don't know why the big drama was about.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere. I think MMA Junkie kind of said that. I forgot who it was. Sorry for the writer who suggested it, but like there should be a rule in place that if the champion doesn't make weight, automatically strip him of the title. Because Nicco made a case, there's so many fighters before me who didn't make weight, and they got second chances. I didn't get a second chance at all. But we don't know the business side between him and the UFC, how many times they offered her to come fight. She said, no, my tonsils or my foot hurts, or turf toe, which she had. So, I mean, do you like that rule? If the champion doesn't make weight, strip him? Or strip her, him or her? If you don't make weight,
as long
you're
as
champion, I think, come on, you
Yeah.
have to. It looks bad.
yeah, as long as it's down the line.
Yeah.
I think that's a good rule. But if it's not if not every champion gets that treatment,
Yeah.
then that's garbage.
Yeah.
But I'm all for that. I think that makes sense. You are the champion of that weight class, thus you should make that
You
weight
are
class.
the standard.
And
You are the.
And again, this is just I don't understand when there's championship bouts on a pay-per-view card. There should be a replacement card there. There should have been other high caliber flyweight girls
yeah.
there, women I should say, sorry, that were ready to step up and take it in case one of them couldn't make it.
Yeah, good point. But I mean, they're saving Paige Van Sant for the ESPN debut. So I don't know. That's it for round number 2. We're gonna come back and talk about this new sensation that's taken over the jiu-jitsu world. Do not go anywhere. Welcome back. Time for round number 3. Now, there's no question that since Hoist Gracie kind of graced the screens of everybody's homes with this thing called jiu-jitsu, it's kind of blown up, right?
Yeah,
Celebrities are doing it.
everybody's doing it.
It hasn't really crossed that mainstream yet. Like, it's not on, like, you don't see jiu-jitsu tournaments on ESPN or Fox Sports, right? It's not covered in the paper. All these jiu-jitsu
It's not really
tournaments.
televised.
Yeah, hardcore fans know, like, the hardcore jiu-jitsu guys. Like, there's super hardcore jiu-jitsu specialists who are, like, gods in the jiu-jitsu world, but aren't really crossover to MMA fans. Like, who's McGregor's boy in Bellator?
Oh my gosh, you just escaped my head right now.
Was he like a god in the jiu-jitsu world? Now he's crossing over to MMA, right?
Not necessarily.
No?
He just was the loudest jiu-jitsu guy.
Okay.
He's won a lot of tournaments, don't
Yeah.
get me wrong, but the jiu-jitsu community kind of bashes him.
Okay. But there's celebrities in the jiu-jitsu world, right?
Yeah.
Like, Eddie Bravo's more of a celebrity in the jiu-jitsu world.
Yeah,
right?
he's
Hardcore MMA fans know
Uh-huh.
who he is, but the casual may not know who Eddie Bravo is, right?
Yeah.
And there's, like I said, the avenue's there, but it's an individual one-on-one sport. If you're not really hardcore into it, watching two guys jiu-jitsu, you're not too sure what's going on. But Albert, you said this is what you introduced me to, what's this quintet jiu-jitsu, like
Yeah.
a 5-on-5.
So it's pretty much like a team jiu-jitsu
Yeah.
tournament where you pick 5 guys from your jiu-jitsu academy, or sometimes it's just a special guy that picks 4 other guys.
Yeah.
And they can't exceed a certain weight limit.
So there's rules, right?
Yeah, so there's rules. So all 5 of them cannot exceed a certain weight limit. So you can have like one big guy and the other guys have to be kind of smaller
Yeah.
because you can't exceed a certain
team weight limit.
Yeah, a team weight limit. And then you go head to head with your opponent. You do not know what order he picks. You don't know what order you pick.
So it's still one guy one-on-one.
Yeah.
But it's like elimination. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
or-
yeah, it's elimination. There's a time limit. If there's not submission in the time limit, both of them are out of contention.
Oh, wow.
If somebody wins, they stay on, and then the next guy moves up, and pretty much you win when you have more players than the other team. But you have to go through all 5.
Okay.
So if the last guy is there and the other team still has 3 people, that one guy has to defeat those 3 people in order to win the match or at least a draw. So the crazy part is when I watched already the first 2 events, it's freaking awesome, and I think the whole team aspect is I think what's going to turn a lot of people on.
Yeah.
And after listening to an interview with Eddie Bravo, he said that, I mean, his students are going crazy with it, want to make 5-on-5 all the time, and that they're even having their own little tournaments. I even visit other jiu-jitsu schools, and they're doing 5-on-5, and they're having a huge one. Literally the weekend of the Conor McGregor Khabib fight.
Yeah.
And Team Alpha Male is stepping up to this tournament.
Yeah.
And then for all the jiu-jitsu nerds out there, there's some heavy jiu-jitsu hitters in the tournament.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I don't even have to mention the names. If you know jiu-jitsu, you probably already know about this tournament, and you probably already doing backflips on it.
So I think what kind of caught my attention too is the whole time limit rule, and that if no submission is obtained, both guys are out.
Yeah.
It's kind of forces guys to do action, not just counter and kind of sit there wait for the opponents, right?
Exactly.
It forces the rule. It forces the action.
And then there's so much strategy that
Which makes it more entertaining.
Yeah. And there's so
for
much
the casual viewer.
Yeah, and one thing about like football, basketball, stuff like that is there has to be like some kind of like coaching strategy.
Yeah.
And I think that's what gets people hyped up. And there's so much strategy in this game because if you're against a guy that's 40 pounds heavier than you, they literally cut the time in half.
Yeah.
So do you tell him work for a draw since you have half the time you can get rid of the big guy?
Yeah.
Do you just go, you know what? There's only 4 minutes left. You know what? Try to out cardio the big guy. You know, there's just so many like aspects as far as coaching that
many scenarios.
Yeah, so much scenarios you can do where it's just not necessarily like when it's just one-on-one. You like only that person knows in their head what exactly they're trying to do or what they trained to do for this one fight.
Yeah.
At least this way, because they had cameras on the team, they had cameras on Eddie Bravo yelling and stuff like that. So it's cool to see like there's strategy being told right there and then, and there is a game plan.
And obviously, jiu-jitsu, like, is it kind of like to watch it? Is it casual to the? Is it friendly to the casual viewer?
I think so. I think it's actually it's probably the most casual way to be introduced to jiu-jitsu to try to, and also you see who's a star, who is a name in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
They had some studs, and you could tell that they were studs because everybody made a big deal. As soon as you see them, they're like, "Oh no!" And then like I have never seen people pumped up with someone making an attempt to a Kimura.
Yeah. Like I was totally respect jiu-jitsu. I like watching it, but sometimes it's a little too advanced for me. Like what's his name? GSP's coach, the heel hook guy, John Danaher.
Uh-huh.
He was on Joe Rogan's podcast a long time ago, and he mentioned some like high-end jiu-jitsu matchup with one of his guys and somebody else's guy.
And you're just like...
And he was breaking it down. He's all like, yeah, Joe, I knew like 30 seconds into the match when my guy put his like wrist on the left side of the guy's body, it was over. I was like, how do you even know? Like that's like that little subtle movement. Okay, that's like too advanced for me. Next on, but hopefully this 5-on-5 quintet jiu-jitsu kind of catches on and gets to the match. It's a great way, and hopefully it gets more people enrolled in jiu-jitsu classes. I think that's the best way to learn self-defense and self-confidence in their jiu-jitsu. Any type of martial arts is. Any way to get kids in there involved, I'm all for it. So hopefully quintet is the way to go in the future, at least for, get some sponsorships out there. So.
Yeah.
That's it for the third round. Take a small break and come back, and we're going to talk about some professional wrestling and boxing. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to time for the fourth round here, championship rounds. So we're a couple weeks removed from All In. We didn't have a show last week, so we're talking about this week. Completely independent of WWE. I think the first time a non-WWE organization has sold out an arena since WCW, right?
Yeah, they're making a big number of that, 10,000, which I think the official number was like 11,000 and some change.
Yeah.
And I guess that's huge in the wrestling community because if I remember correctly, the Barclays Center held like 14,000 for SummerSlam.
NXT.
NXT, I think, was 12,000. I think SummerSlam was 14,000.
Yeah.
I think they're only 2,000 apart.
Yeah.
So that's actually pretty huge.
Yeah.
That an independent company was able to draw as much as WWE.
Well, it's not even an independent company.
No, it's not even a company.
It's not even this guy.
It was an event.
Yeah.
An independent event was able to draw as much as WWE.
People have been trying, like, people are criticizing NXT. Too bad Guillermo's not here. Or saying, well, look, NXT did that in the developmental. NXT it's not developmental.
Yeah. You
mean to tell me Ricochet, Adam Cole, Shinsuke Nakamura, Samoa Joe, Finn Balor,
Bobby
Roode,
Eric Young.
all those guys need development.
Finn Balor.
I just said that he's Finn Balor.
you
All
did.
those guys
Yeah.
need development.
No.
It's not what it is. It's basically a super indie show. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's WWE's way of sucking dry the independents. That way, these shows, these other companies don't get too big. That's what NXT is. It's not developmental. I mean, okay, how many true guys have come from NXT?
Like
Baron Corbin?
Hey, I think Baron Corbin's probably the only one. that I
Mojo
can
Rawley?
think- Yeah, Mojo Rawley. I think there's a couple of girls. No.
Well, the girls mostly because like a lot of them, if anything, that NXT they do groom. But even that, no, they're starting to take the Japanese wrestlers too.
Yeah.
So, anyways, okay, so now it was a success.
Yeah.
Good card.
Yeah.
Good
Solid
matches.
card. Yeah.
Right. What does this mean for the future of independent professional wrestling, if anything at all?
Honestly, I think all this shows is. I think two major things comes out of this. One, it's showing WWE that, hey, no matter how big you think you are or how much you think there's no competition, there is. There's still,
Or there can be.
there can be. Yeah, there can be. And the second thing is, I think it's helps not just future independent wrestlers, but current independent wrestlers, that there is something that, like the thing I hear constantly is WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Most people don't even care about WWE, but that WrestleMania is like almost like something they want to be a part of.
Yeah.
But I think this gives people in their mind, like, you know what? We can make our own WrestleMania moments, WrestleMania spectaculars, because I think that's what it is. Is that, you almost set yourself in stone with this one main event.
Yeah.
And I think this event allows the people that probably never get to WrestleMania, never get to experience WrestleMania, that deserve to have that platform, can have this platform.
Yeah. What about the criticism that it was all just wolf tickets being in Chicago and having CM Punk, the rumored that was a sellout? Do you think that's anything true to that?
No, because
They're saying, "Well, hey, we're in Chicago. CM Punk's in."
CM Punk.
You think that helped at all?
I think it helped with maybe like a couple thousand tickets, but let's keep it 100. The guy was just going to sign autographs, and he went to a T-shirt shop where he did it. There's no way I think anyone realistically thought that he was going to show up. If anything, the only guy that I thought that people might think that he was legit going to show up was Neville.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
I think maybe 2,000 tickets the most.
Yeah.
Were because of CM Punk.
And then, as great as this thing was, but there's already rumors of the Young Bucks and Marty Scurll going to WWE, right?
Yeah, there's heavy rumors that Marty Scurll and WWE are Marty Scurll and the Young Bucks are WWE bound.
All this is just for what? That we can, we belong in WWE?
Hey,
that we can do it? I mean, it's kind of like...
Yeah. I mean, I think Cody and the Young Bucks put the blueprint out there.
Yeah.
And
But not for us to do it.
And I think there's other wrestlers that can carry that torch, that can make the transition and say, you know what, Cody did it, and now we can also do it as well.
I guess, I'm not going to hit on any guy for getting a guaranteed contract, for taking it easy, right? Because they're hustling. Obviously, you make more money on the independents, but you got to hustle more, right?
Yeah.
That's probably the truth. Why not get a guaranteed amount? WWE. You know where you're going to be at every weekend. You know, you don't have to worry about some promoter making sure your quote is there. Why not get that? But I mean, as far as like, they always say these wrestlers always they're always get in the way. They're the worst enemy, right?
Yeah.
What's the whole point of doing this? Hey, WWE, we can do it without you, just to be signed up by WWE anyway. It's kind of hypocritical.
Yeah, yeah, and it's don't get me wrong. It's such a tough position. Like even sometimes I like to like just think, if I was even a part of something that awesome, like, am I willing to give that up for the buyout?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's tough. It's tough.
For your action figure to be in the WWE 2K, blah, 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 blah.
People forget that. You mean video games, not Guillermo calling.
Yeah.
You forget that video games, toys, I mean, there's just so much that WWE brings to the table that it's hard. I don't know how anybody can turn it down.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a little more too about this whole kind of like there is another option, because All In was help from NWA. Ring of Honor had some stuff on there.
Yeah.
And so did New Japan. They had kind of send stars there. Does it say something that it takes 3 or 4 different companies just to try and match WWE arena.
Well, it's like you said earlier. NXT is technically
Super indie show.
super indie show. So in order to compete with the super indie show, you gotta get the super indie guys,
that
right?
they're poached from,
and
right?
So, yeah, and so I think you saw the best of New Japan, Ring of Honor, and very smaller
NWA,
promotions,
yeah.
NWA, come together. And I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you can't knock them because NXT did the same thing.
Yeah.
Right?
So, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, we'll see what Cody Rhodes does. I think his goal is to become a booker now, or a producer.
Did a good job.
So we'll see what All In does for the future here. I'm also one thing too. Real quick too, Albert and I went to a ton of PWG shows back in the day. A ton. But I always go.
We practically built that hall.
I always go to this point that why like independents will never ever match WWE or Ring of Honor or PWG or New Japan will never match WWE because how many T-shirts did you buy at PWG?
0.
Yeah. And when our friend Jason goes to Raw and takes his son Nate, especially when he was younger,
He gets a new shirt every single time.
how much did he throw down to merchandise?
He has to. It's up there because he gets the shirts, he gets the hats, and who knows what else.
Concession, right?
Yeah.
If
Concession.
anything, we bought maybe a couple beers.
Yeah, a couple beers.
That's about it.
Which were like on sale, $5.
And that merch is why in the indies will never, because 18 to 35-year-old males,
But then again, to play devil's advocate,
they're
the Young Bucks kill it in the merch, but online, they killed their merch is selling off the roof.
Yeah, hopefully it's different now, but like those because like.
But yeah, I see what you're trying to get at.
One T-shirt or T-shirt plus the headband and popcorn and soda
And again,
and the teddy bear.
Yeah. And again, the infrastructure.
Yeah.
Sure, the Young Bucks and these other guys can get a T-shirt made through Pro Wrestling Tees.
Yeah.
But come on now, WWE can get the scarf, the headband, the hat, the
wristband,
jacket, and they can have it like that the next event.
All right, we got one more round coming up. Fifth and final round. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, fifth and final round. The action continues with a little bit of professional wrestling and
the way I like
boxing this weekend. We'll start with WWE Hell in a Cell, which is taking place this weekend. I think every match is supposed to be Hell in a Cell, right? Just the main ones. I don't know.
They change it every year.
According here, Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton is going to be in Hell in a Cell. Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns is going to be Hell in a Cell. And I think that is it. So
what about the women? No women in the cell?
Nope. Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre versus Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch, which is a regular match. Ronda Rousey versus Alexa Bliss. And then you got the New Day. And then to be determined who they're wrestling. I don't know that. And then AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe in a regular match. And then Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella versus The Miz and Maurice. Yeah, let's just say I'm not going to renew my subscription for this. I let it lapse for 1 month and haven't renewed it since. Well, I'm still waiting for like that card to get me. This isn't what it is.
Duddy's lucky that I renewed to watch the NXT Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So I think I'm still good
for this month.
For this month, so I'm gonna get to check it out. If not, I think I'm gonna shy one. But
I don't see any titles changing here. I think maybe Samoa Joe takes over AJ Styles, maybe just for the storyline, but I don't see Braun defeating Roman. I don't see Charlotte losing to Becky Lynch. Do you? Do you see Ronda Rousey losing to?
No, I'll be very shocked if there's at least one title change. To tell you the truth.
So that's that. Saturday.
And so we're done with that.
So done with that. Saturday, Mexican Independence Day, which means Canelo, Triple G. Conveniently,
it just means boxing in general.
Yeah, conveniently.
If it wasn't them, it was somebody else.
Conveniently rescheduled by the Nevada Athletic Commission.
Yeah. Just in time.
Yeah.
The paperwork got done just in time, guys.
You're not going to make Cinco de Mayo, but you know what? Let's give you a 6-month suspension. You'll maybe, I don't know if you're good.
Who knows? Yeah.
We'll have you go. So, boxing expert Albert.
I've become an expert ever since Mayweather, Conor.
First one ended in a draw. Not too surprised, right? Boxing, we're gonna milk it all for its worth.
Yeah. Well,
does number 2 end in a decisive decision for anybody?
So here's the funny part: the result is not surprising because everybody knows how boxing is.
Yeah.
Most expert, and I do my nerd voice because every boxer, every hardcore boxer fan I talk to is a nerd.
Well.
And I mean that. All right, I'm not trying to say I'm tougher than any
just a nerd.
guy that is. I'm just saying the hardcore guys out there, they're all nerds.
We're talking about boxing. Talking about
Not
boxing. Actual boxing.
Yeah. So, anyways, the experts believe that Triple G won the fight.
Okay.
The majority of the rounds was won by Triple G.
Yeah.
There could be argument to say that Canelo won the beginning and maybe the later rounds, and that's what caused the draw. But there was some very sketchy scorecards out there that
I wonder why.
that people right away said it was a fixed fight. But anyways, with that said, the second time around, I don't think it's going to decision just because of two things. One, I think when two fighters fight each other, I think the first part's always like, man, like, does he really have power? Does he not have power?
Yeah.
And I think the confidence grows on each fighter when they feel that power or if they think they can really take it. A good example is, I can't believe I can't remember none of the names, but the most current heavyweight bout that we saw and he retired. They ran it twice, anyways. The second bout he finished them. The first one was a closer decision. But with that said, though, I don't think it's not going to decision. I think it's going to be a little bit faster pace. And to tell you the truth, I think Canelo Alvarez got this.
Yeah.
Canelo Alvarez is coming in as a counterpuncher. Triple G has always been that brawl style. And I think this time around, Triple G is going to try to shoot out real quick. And I think Canelo's going to have enough to counter and finish off Triple G, to tell the truth. Triple G has, and don't get this wrong, Triple G has a chin on him. But Canelo did land in some good ones.
Yeah.
I have seen him wobbly. The Miracle Man has wobbled him. So I got Canelo winning it, and I highly doubt it's going to decision.
Well, regardless, it's going to be a third fight, right?
You know what? Don't be surprised if Triple G goes a different route before we see a third fight.
Oh, okay. Just kind of get back in there. To kind of switch it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, but this is the boxing world. I mean, it's a business.
It's a 100%
sport, right?
business. And by the way, before we get out of boxing,
Yeah.
because it's kind of related, Oscar De La Hoya is seriously thinking about running for president for the next election.
Of what?
United States.
Okay.
I'm not the fighting commission of the United States.
Well, I mean, there's president for anybody can do it.
With Donald Trump can do it.
We've proved we can vote anybody in the presidency.
You can do it. You can do it. I can do it. Anyway, if you have like half a billion.
Enough Twitter followers. Hence The Rock. That's it for this week's show. I want to thank everybody for listening. Big shout out to the FightBookMMA.com. Good friends of ours. Bookmark it. It's complete combat sports news coverage. Great podcast section of combat sports. A website you can trust with accurate news. FightBookMMA.com. Just bookmark it. Do yourself a favor. Go there first. Whenever breaking news happens first. FightBookMMA.com. Follow them on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all on there. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. On Instagram, it's at FiveRoundMMA. It's FIVE Round MMA. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to Apple Podcasts, Podomatic, and YouTube. Visit FiveRoundMMA.com. A big shout out to all of our sponsors. What do you got?
I just want to say what an awesome time to be a sports fan right now. Man, got basketball around the corner. Baseball's heating up. NFL just started. MLS is about to go to the playoffs. Ooh. And Disneyland just switched over to their Halloween stuff. I'm telling you.
Switch to sports fan.
My plate's full. I'm just trying to say my plate's full right now.
All right, buddy. Catch you later.
Thanks for tuning in